welcome back inside to the Mental Takedown podcast. Return guest this time, such a wonderful conversation always to have. Bucknell's Zach Hartman. Seriously, this is obviously, I think he's been my most educational guest ever. He has so many good nuggets, going to med school, he's gonna cure cancer one day. Enough small talk. I mean, there's a reason why his interviews are among the longest that I have, because there's just always so much to get to with this guy, and he really should host his own show. But again, enough small talk. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you for tuning in. Joining us now for the second time, Zach Hartman from Bucknell. Still grinding. Yep, still doing it.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Just got done with class, doing a little bit of homework, and now I'm here. So back in the grind of things, back in the swing.
Yeah. I guess first of all, you're about to graduate. What are you studying, and kind of you can't wrestle forever. Body can't hold up. I mean, my body can't even hold up one day, but story for another time.
I'm actually going to med school.
Oh.
So I already have that locked up, and I'm matriculating in July.
You already got in?
Yeah.
That ain't easy. I mean,
yeah, it was nice to get lined up. So I mean, the hard work's not the way, because you have to actually go through med school, but
yeah, I mean, the part of the hard work is done.
Yeah, that's a better way to.
All right, do we have any harrowing med school stories that people have told you before?
No,
not yet.
Not yet. I mean, the pathway that I'm going down is a little bit different. It's a little bit more of just reading the books and going to meetings a few times a week, but it's different than the traditional classroom setting. And so the particular pathway I'm going down is PBL, where it's a lot of application-based stuff. So there you have a professor, you have a couple other your fellow students that are going to be in your group, and you guys collaborate and try to come together on a diagnosis for whatever the patient case may be. And yeah, a bunch of rinse and repeat with that, read more books and go on with it. But yeah, no, that's the whole med school kind of wrapped up a little bit, or at least the first 2 years, because the last 2 years are rotations.
Yeah. So I'm actually fascinated by this kind of stuff. When y'all first I guess you haven't gone to med school yet, but when you're kind of preparing for med school and you're first starting out and trying to get more and more specific in what you want to do, how does that kind of go about? No one really knows what they're doing, right? This is all new to them, new to you guys, and you guys these words that people don't understand.
Well, it's new to the students, but I think one of the hardest and most frustrating parts of med school is that you don't know where you're going to get placed at for your residency, and that kind of dictates what specialty that you'll go down. And you won't know that until you match. I believe that's your last year of med school. It could be junior year, but it's, I think, most times in your senior. I could be wrong on that though, but I know you do pick a specialty whenever you go into residency.
Nice. So you'll be on the school grind long after you've hung up the singlet and all that good jazz.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still be helping out with local schools and whatnot, but competition probably over. Over after this year, just to focus on the what the goal is ahead, and that's becoming a doctor.
Well, should I call you Dr. Hartman for the rest of the interview?
Not yet. It's actually funny. Both of my roommates actually are watching Family Guy 24/7, and there's a Dr. Hartman on there. That's pretty funny.
We give you an honorary degree in wrestling. How about that?
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. I mean, since all those celebrities have like 17 honorary pancake degrees. Yeah. All right. I guess we'll move on to like, so how do you, I guess, how do you kind of balance the two between kind of wrestling and as like you're obviously, I don't want to say more concerned, but as the day approaches closer and closer, how do you kind of keep everything in check?
Like keep myself level.
Yes.
Like going into med school. Well, a lot of things are happening this year. So I'm graduating. I'm getting into an apartment over the summer, so that way I can just get ready for med school because I need to get an apartment for that. And I mean, it's just closing out the semester and on the right note. So I'm always a big believer that consistency is key. And so, I mean, it's not like I switch anything big up throughout my day that I'm going to think is miraculously going to get me ready for med school. So just doing the small things right throughout the day. Like whenever I wash dishes, like just wash them right. Like try to keep everything that I can in check. And so that way, over the course of like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, it's like instead of everything coming crashing down onto me, it's more manageable. Like I'm able to kind of sift through and like deal with the bigger things that I need to deal with. For example, like exams. Like I would much rather be dealing with an exam during exam week than on trying to clean up the apartment or trying to lose extra weight when I don't like when I should be studying for that exam. So just staying on top of everything, time management, but it's the typical preaching of the choir that the parents give the college students, like doing the little things like make sure you're keeping up with everything. It's a bunch of that stuff, which kind of makes it just sounds funny coming out of my mouth because I was like always, yeah, I'll do everything like that I can right, but like I just didn't like hearing it because it was like so much pressure coming with that. But yeah, that's how I'm staying ready for that.
Yeah, when you're younger, you just think it all just happened, yeah?
I don't know. I mean, I close my eyes and I open them, and you could take something out of my field of view, and I just will think it disappeared. Like that's kind of kid I was.
Uh, are you always this calm? Like you're explaining it like it's I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong around the wrong group of people that's like panicking and always saying that, the med school's like you'll never get out of it, you'll never finish, you'll be an old man. I mean, half your hair is gonna be gone by the time you get your first job. All
Well, I
that
mean,
stuff.
it's a lot of understanding, like that you're not in any boat that no one else is. Like I kind of bring this up uh, a little bit. It's like you can be a specialist in something, and you still don't know what's going on. It's actually pretty funny. Like the more you learn something, the more you realize how much you don't know about that thing. So like I mean, I take everything with a grain of salt whenever I ask for opinions, and like when people tell me how they're feeling about med school, it's just like, yeah, it's gonna be rough, but I mean, there's doctors that are graduating from med school, so there's obviously a way. So it's just a matter of like finding that way and finding what works for you, and yeah, just taking it one step at a time. Like if someone comes up to me and says like I can't get my car out, I'm not gonna not try. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna just be like, oh yeah, your car's stuck. Like no need in trying to get that. Like I'm gonna do it for myself. Like so do like being able to do whatever I want to do. Like I won't give up unless I try it. If that makes sense. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. So you mentioned that I mean, I presume that are you the only one on the team that's in med school?
Yes.
Okay. So is it kind of difficult to explain to somebody who's like, that maybe like, that like doesn't understand what you have like outside the practice room, like trying to, I guess you really don't understand it unless you're involved in it. Yeah.
I mean, think about engineering in my perspective. It's like, I understand that I'm not an engineer at all. I mean, I did a couple generic classes back in the day, but it was like high school level, you know what I mean? So like I don't I would like to think when the guys are like listening in on what I'm doing, like for example, med school, I don't think it's too far fetched for them to understand like an orthopedic surgeon is an orthopedic surgeon. Like everyone on the team has probably been encountered by one because of some sort of injury. So like I don't think it's too far fetched with the guys, and I don't feel too isolated with it. Like it's not like I'm doing some like taboo job where it's like what I don't understand. Like no one understands what I'm doing. It's pretty easy to explain to people if like at different levels. Like though if someone that was if a medical student asked me what I wanted to be, like I'd obviously answer a lot different than I would like my roommate that's an engineering major. Like there's different ways to explain it, and I feel like I do a good job at explaining it based on like where I think they have like a background knowledge on it.
But I mean, I take it that like, I mean, there's not many other majors that would out course load med school or pre-med school. No?
I would definitely say engineers, like they go through a lot, and there's a reason for that. Like med school, you have 4 years after undergraduate to learn all that extra material. A lot of times with like certain engineering programs, like they can go anywhere from like 4 to 5 years. I know Bucknell, they push for everything to be 4 unless you want to do like some graduate program after, but after 4 years, like you can go in the workforce. Like I can't just graduate this year and become a doctor somehow.
Nope.
Like there's no way. There's so much learning that happens after. But because I have those extra 4 years to learn all that material, it's not like everything has to be crammed in the first 4 years. You know what I mean? So like I
Yep.
know engineers like a lot. I'm pretty sure engineers here overload every semester by half a credit. Like if we take 4 credits, we have a weird system where it's like 1 credit at Bucknell is like 4 credits somewhere else. So instead of 16 being a full semester, like full course load, it'd be 4. But I know engineers are like taking 4.5, and there's a lot more to engineering than there is to like pre-med students that are in undergrad. Just I think because of that, just because like they're gonna be engineers after they graduate. We won't be doctors yet. We still got all that time to learn.
Even if all that's true, you should just said yes. Med school is the hardest one. I teed that one up for you, and you just
I know, but I wanted to be an engineer for the longest time, and so that has a little place in my heart. I can't do engineers dirty like that. My mom's an engineer, man.
okay. Fair enough. I'll just cap this part off by saying this is why I'm gonna go in the fall to go be a journalism major. Anyway, I guess have you had time to like because this will be, I just want to triple check because I think I got it right this time, but this will be your last year. This is your last year of eligibility. Yes. No, or do you have one more?
Technically I have another year of eligibility, but I'm not gonna use it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought. I mean, you already have everything teed up. It's like,
Well, I have everything teed up, and honestly, if I have 8+ years of school left, I'd rather just get it started than postpone it the year.
yeah. So I guess as the season starts, it's like kind of like the season of lasts, right? The last opening day, last opening duel, last I don't know, first match coach, rah-rah speech. I don't know. So like, have you had time to like kind of sit back and reflect as you go through each one of those and like kind of
I
look
kind
at how
of,
far you come?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's like I love the sport. Like it's done a lot of amazing things. It's taught me a lot of amazing things, and like showed me what kind of character I had. And I never really had any sort of bad thoughts that would come up whenever like it's the last of the firsts. Like, oh, I'll never have another home dual meet. Like the first home dual meet. Like, hey, I'll never have another one of those. And it's like, it's not that shaking to me. I view it more as like like this is where I built up to this point. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like walking across the mat the one last time. It's just like I I'm gonna miss it. Is my body gonna heal up and everything? Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna feel really nice, but like I don't know. I'm a big believer that like the right things will pop into your life at the right time, just like the right you and sometimes you'd be destined to have things leave at the right time. You know what I mean? So like I'm not gonna prolong this like wrestling stay and like kind of harp on that. But I mean, whenever the dual matches come along, like tournaments, like Midlands that got changed to Matman, Navy Classic, like all those, whenever I was like in the arena or like going through that moment, I was always just like, it's my last one. It's pretty cool. Like it's pretty cool. I never really thought what it'd be like just to feel that. It's just kind of like, wow, I came all this way. Like it's kind of impressive. Like because I used to be a freshman thinking about it like, damn, I wish I was a senior. like like it already sucks losing weight. But then it came and it's just kind of like, oh wow. Like pretty nice. It's pretty nice. It's nice to reap the fruits every once in a while.
Yeah. I feel like you're so emotionally attached to the sport in the right way and so emotionally detached where you
Mm-hmm.
need to be detached. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
That's a perfect way to put it. It's like if you're emotionally too attached to it, like think of a pie chart. Like it's gonna take up some percentage of that pie chart. And let's say that pie chart is analogous to like a day in the life. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be doing so many other things later on in life. Like I'm gonna have like a fiance, I'm gonna have kids, I'm gonna have a job, I'm gonna have like all these other things that I need to tend to that in all honesty, I would rather dump the energy that I was putting into this sport. Like I'm still dumping all this energy into this sport right now. But when this sport's over, instead of harping on it, like I'm just gonna take the energy and put it into other productive areas of my life. And so, I mean, it's just time management. Like I've always been good at time management. Like that's something I've learned is just being young, like a young kid. That's something I really learned was like crucial to success. And so, I mean, you just got to be ready to reallocate like where you spend your time and energy. Like if you want an analogy to put it, it's like think of like the 90 like 98 Bulls, like just the Bulls in general back when Michael Jordan was on the team. Like if Michael Jordan gets hurt, the Bulls just can't stop. You know what I mean? Like they got to keep going, but they got to put their energy somewhere else. They got to put it into a new player that's going to replace him. Like you're gonna have to be willing to do that. Did they want to lose Michael? No.
no. Yeah.
But it's like you have to dump your energy like to be successful, like or have your best chances of being successful. That's something that you got to do. So that's how I view it. I mean, I love the sport, but also it's just like another player on the roster, if you know what I mean. Like
Save some good vibes for the rest of us, for goodness sakes. Jeez. All right. I guess we'll talk about this thing real quick. We never got, or at least either I didn't read it because I'm lazy, but did we ever get, I know, such a great thing for me to say after you just poured your heart out and gave all the, everything how not to be lazy. But we never got, I guess, as someone on the inside, and like, how soon did y'all, like, what the whole Midlands situation, like, what happened? I guess we'll start there.
Midlands. Hold on, I'm trying to think back to Midlands. Sorry, I was in such an like anatomy mindset when it came to like right before this meeting because I was just reading and I'm trying to think of Midlands. So got fit. Oh yeah. I'm assuming you're talking about the two matches, right?
No,
The
I'm
two
just
losses.
like, because Midlands was on until when did it get canceled? And then it
It
got,
got canceled like 4 or 5 days in advance, and then it just rescheduled.
okay, so it
But
wasn't too bad. Yeah, it wasn't too tight of the
it
tight.
wasn't. It wasn't. No, it
Okay.
wasn't too tight. It was just a bunch of uncertainty. But I thought, I thought Midlands was good. I mean, I finished fifth. Uh, I beat the Penn wrestler. I forget his name, but really solid wrestler. Was really like solid on his feet, and I mean, I even talked to him. I was just like, dude, I love like that was a like after our first match, I was like, dude, that was a fun ass match. Like you're actually like bobbing and weaving on your feet, like you know what you're doing, and had him again for the fifth and sixth match, and I mean, it was just a fun tournament altogether. Now the semis and the uh Consi semis, I believe, the match right after that. Uh those were just two good kids. Like they were just good on their feet. They had some skill that was just they were good. You know what I mean? Like it was actually funny. It was after the first at the end of the first period when I was wrestling DJ from Wisconsin. He he got it, snapped the cradle, put me on my back, and like I remember I was walking back to the center of the mat after the period, and I was just like, "Damn, that was good." And he just looked at me, and I was just like, "That was good." Like there's nothing else to it. Like that typically works for me, and you stopped it, so kudos. But I mean, I still tried my butt off.
No comment. I've interviewed both you guys, so I'm very
Yeah, he's a really good wrestler, man.
yeah. And we had that. Oh, this will be an inside joke, but we had the whole saltines conversation. He's not one of them. So anyway, um, so are you? I guess I should have been able to deduce this from everything that you said to me in the past, but like you don't
Yeah,
seem to be the kind that like takes, okay, let's, how do we phrase this in a proper English
take
way?
losses personally.
No, you don't take it too seriously, right? Because I know I've had people on interviews here. It's like, we don't talk to anybody at tournaments. I can't say anything to anyone.
I
Like,
I
I have
take
to
it.
be.
The only thing I take seriously is how much effort I actually feel like I put in. Like if I win every single match and I didn't put in like 100% effort, like if I left points out there on the mat, like that's when I get upset because I'm more upset at myself, like just letting myself ease up like that. But I mean, if I wrestle someone and they just completely obliterate me, like there's not much else I can do. Like that's like getting pissed off at a cow for not being able to fly. Like you just gotta be able to. I don't know. Like there's always going to be someone out there better than you, and that's a good like a good goal is to strive to be the best one out there. But in order to do that, like you have to be able to rebound off of failures because that's ultimately like stepping stones, like learning from your failures, like just because you failed doesn't mean that you are a failure. Like it just means that okay, I messed up a couple times, but where can I go from here? And so, do I take it serious and like my wins, like my career pins or whatever? Like those are stats. They're nice stats, but it's just a byproduct. Like it's not like I'm trying to grind to beat out some like career record or something. Like it's just a byproduct of me being intrinsically motivated.
I guess that makes it more enjoyable, yeah. If you feel that you can
Oh, 100%.
talk to people and like still have other aspects of life going on.
It's actually fun. It's actually funny as hell because it's like I'll just be talking to kids and like we're not even at a like tournament or anything, and some kids will respond to me like, "Oh yeah," like funny, like joke around or whatnot, and there'd be other kids where it's just like, "Wow, why are you talking to me?" I'm just like, I'm just talking, like, yeah, I don't even care if I'm wrestling you next. Like, I'll talk to you, dude. Like, if you're one of my friends, or like we can just chat, like, why not? Like at the
And
end of the day, like it's a sport. Like, am I here trying to be the like best wrestler that I can be and screw everyone else, or am I here trying to like make connections, make friends, make something out of it?
all I can say is from personal experience, I have had those people that have come on and said like, I can't say a word, you know, a hundred and
Oh, dude, I'll talk to you like I'm a captain. Like totally off topic. It was like, dude, it was like what, junior year? Yeah, it was last year at nationals. Like Marinelli ended up getting knocked out, like medical forfeiting out of the tournament, and like I just walked up to him. I was just like, dude, like I was excited as hell to wrestle you. Like, yeah, that would have been fun as hell. And I was just like checking up on him. I was just like, dude, like what's going on with that? Like, we got to wrestle sometime because like I can't let like our one match at Midlands justify everything. Like, not saying that I would beat him or anything like that, but like it'd just be fun. Like, why not wrestle one of the best guys in the country? Like,
yeah.
that's a place that I know I can grow in. And so just making the connections, like make it enjoyable. I've always been a person where I valued first impressions like highly. So like if you made a good impression on me, like I'm gonna remember that.
I guess since you're so good at explaining stuff, and I know you didn't you so I guess first of all we'll start with did you even notice or know that you got to a quarter of a century pins or no?
No,
No?
I think I saw the stat a couple days ago, but did I know before I got that? No. Like I just it's another byproduct. Like
Yeah, I guess since you broke down, I don't even know what you broke down. It's been well, my memory is like absolutely awful. But, like you broke down earlier, like how you manage your time and all this stuff.
yeah.
Like y'all make, I think people don't understand. You make, and every sport is like this. Is you make the professionals or even the high level college guys, they make the extremely difficult look incredibly simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that's why you've got thousands of Twitter managers. That's like, why didn't he just hit the ball? Yes, of course. So like, I guess how can you explain to like, I guess now that I've gotten to interview guys for quite a while now that I understand it more, but like how do you explain like how difficult it is just to get one pin at the D1 college level, no less?
Well, think of levels. So you have all these different areas in wrestling. Like you have the defensive part, you have the offensive, you have the mind games, you have the conditioning. Like you need to be able to have every one of those aspects like leveled up to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like, just because you're really good at running a half doesn't mean that you're going to be able to run that half. Like, you have to match up everything like correctly. Like, sometimes I say this a lot to the guys. Like, sometimes in a really clean, slick leg attack, like, yeah, it looks real easy to do out there, but you're honestly forgetting about like the whole first period that happened before that period that takedown happened, like where both guys were just hand fighting the entire time. Like, exhaustion started setting in. Like, there's all these little factors that you got to think about where if I fake to his right leg 3 times, he probably thinks I'm going to fake there again. So let me go left this time. He'll react left. I'll take right, or I just snatch right. Like, there's a bunch of little things that add into it that make it seem so simple. You know what I mean? Like, trusting in the training that comes along with confidence on the mat. Like, it's extremely difficult to try to line everything up. But I mean, it's not like it's an on or off button. It's not like you can be slick whenever you want or you're not at all. It's more like a gradient. Like, the more you work at it, the better you're going to get. And that just comes down to repetition. Like, I feel like the majority of wrestlers I've talked to, if not every single one, has watched, and I bet a lot, like whoever's watching this podcast right now, like I guarantee you there's been a point in a match that you're watching, not even wrestling in, a match that you're watching where you saw a kid do something and you reacted in your seat. Like, you saw the kid shoot a single leg, so you immediately threw, like, your leg twitched. You know what I mean? So, like, if that's so ingrained where you didn't even think that like, it didn't even process what you saw before your leg twitched, if you can translate that into moves on the mat, where if you see the opponent leaning one way and that instantly causes you to do something like that, those are the things that you should be working on in practice, trying to make things intuitive. Like, it's good to play around. It's good to try to find new positions and like what to do and improvise. But if you can really get a trigger down where, like, if he fakes and instead of me reacting to him, like just backing up or lowering my stance, why not lower stance, try to grab ankle? If you miss ankle, just come back up. Like, if you tie together like his action and your reaction, like tie those together by looking at it, then you're cutting down that time that it takes for the move to happen. Which ultimately, that's why people like Jordan Burroughs look so damn fast. Like, I promise you he's fast, but what makes him seem really fast, like stupid fast on Instagram videos and stuff, is just his timing. Like, that's what makes moves so like slick. So working on your timing, and that's a really big thing. I honestly forget what the original question was, but yeah.
Do you think I remember either? No. And that's why I love interviewing people. That's what I say. That, like, if I can't remember what the original question was, or if I can't like remember what we were talking about before earlier in the conversation, like, I'm gonna have to watch this back to know.
Oh, I think it was about perfecting, like making something look easy out there, like pinning people. I think that was the question, but that's all. You have to.
Yeah, I'll have to watch
practice.
But yeah, and I guess we'll end because I know you got to get out of here soon. I'm stick to my promise because stuff. You got more important things to do. But well, I always say I like to end on something light because you're not afraid to, you know, get into the deep stuff, and I truly appreciate that. But we'll start with, so you mentioned your roommates are watching Family Guy. What does a serene, unflappable pre-med wrestler watch
What do I
as far
so
as
what do
TV
I
show?
watch? First TV, well, so a couple of the big TV shows that I was in, I was actually rewatching it with my girlfriend the other night. Breaking Bad. I love Breaking Bad. Like kind of what's the word I want to describe it as? It's like just like Breaking Bad, Ozark, like shows where like it's mischievous. I don't want to say mischievous, but like they're trying to keep under the radar. They're trying to be sneaky. It's like intense and like I don't know. I like that kind of stuff. Like I don't like dramas. I don't like other shows that are just kind of like the Ground Zero, like Family Guy or like The Simpsons. Like I like
Scripted drama. Ugh.
like I just like those, like any sort of like Breaking Bad-ish. Ozark should be coming out here pretty soon with the new season. I'm excited for that.
I
But
think
like that's what I watch. Other than
I
that,
think that describes you too. Really good,
a little
slightly
bit.
sneaky, and a little bit mischievous. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's how I try to wrestle. Like
Yeah.
if you want to tie that into it, like I like to play the mind games. Like I like to think that you think you know what I'm gonna do, but I'm not even gonna do the opposite. I'm just gonna completely left field you on that. Like I like the mind game TV series, but I mean, yeah, I never even thought about it that like that's how I try to envision myself wrestling.
And that is why I brought you on for a second time. And yep, I think that's the perfect way to top it off. And you get to whatever you need to do. I wish you all the best in your 8 years in med school, or however many years. It'll feel like 8 years anyway.
Yeah, I know, but I'll be working on athletes.
Yeah,
So that's my way to get back.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like once y'all leave the college wrestling sphere, y'all disappear into the embers. There's nobody tagging you on Instagram every week, nobody, tweeting and
I
all
mean,
that stuff.
while I'm in med school, I'll be tentatively being a volunteer assistant. It would depend on where I get stationed at, or not stationed, but placed.
We can call it
I'll-
station.
Station seems like it's military, and that's not military.
Well, it's just as hard as the military. Let's put it that way.
But yeah, I mean, I'll be giving back that way. Give me some way to keep involved with the sport, and who knows, man? Maybe I'll lace up when I'm like 30 or something. I don't know.
Give it one last go.
I'm not shutting
last
opportunity out.
Yeah. One last redemption tour when
Yeah, that's only if I make friends that can operate on me if I tear something.
There you go. Oh, in med school, I'm sure you'll meet somebody, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody that'll give you a free op if something goes wrong. But that's still deep down in the embers. Again, as always, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I do, because like I mentioned, I'm not going to mention any more names like before I get, but like seriously, like if we all had, I guess it's probably not a good thing if we all had that same the same viewpoint, but like if we all kind of strive closer towards that, I think we'd all be in a better place and we'd all feel better about ourselves. But anyway, thanks so much. I'll let you get on your way now.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Take it
You
easy.
have a good one.
You too.
great pleasure hosting another episode of the Mental Takedown. Zach's gonna kill it at med school, doesn't need my luck, gonna get All-American for the second year straight running again, and what else is there to say? He's too good, too cool, too slick, too fast, too smart as well. So, again, if you did enjoy the episode, it would really help us out if you subscribe, write us a review on the podcast platforms and whatnot. But other than that, have a great day, and we'll see you again next time, hopefully with another good episode.